Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakahakwadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who ruled and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson. And in this lesson, I'll be profiling an article from foxnews.com titled Pentagon Answers Question of Whether UFOs and Aliens, put both of those in quotes, have visited Earth. Pentagon spokesperson gets candid before answering question about so-called UFOs and so-called aliens. And when you have an understanding of the scriptures, you know that there's not little green men from Mars. They're actually, the angels of the Most High piloting the chariots of the Most High. And they've visited Earth all throughout, human history. And we're living in the last days, really the last seconds of the last days before the second coming of the Son of the Most High, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, whose true name is Yahushai, who, just like the angels, has the appearances of, so-called dark-skinned Negroes, with woolly beards and afros. And Yahushai and the host of angels piloting the chariots that are coming with him are coming to do two things: to make war against the heathen nations, chiefly the biblical Edomites, or the so-called white people as they're known today, and to save the elect of the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel consisting of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who look like these heathen nations due to them being scattered, to the ends of the earth. So right then and there, we've debunked anything that this Pentagon spokesperson, this Edomite, has to say. And best believe those that are in the know exactly what those so-called UFOs and so-called aliens are. For the believers and non-believers, the Pentagon answered whether UFOs or aliens have ever visited Earth, saying there is no evidence. Cap. Pentagon Press Secretary Major General Pat Ryder fielded several questions from reporters on Thursday on topics such as the death of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar and the use of B-2 bombers to conduct precision strikes on 5 military sites controlled by Houthi forces in Yemen and North Korean soldiers fighting on behalf of Russia in Ukraine. On top of those subjects, the daily news cycle is filled with nonstop election coverage. Jeff Skogel of Task and Purpose, which provides military news, culture, and analysis by members of that community, took the opportunity to go off topic with Ryder and asked about one of Earth's biggest mysteries. Given the news cycle, you could announce anything about aliens or extraterrestrial life, and no one would care, Skogel said. So I'm just going to take the shot. What do you got on UFOs, aliens, etc.? The truth is out there, Jeff, and the truth is we have no evidence to indicate extraterrestrial life has visited the planet, Ryder said. And I'll say this, maybe this Pentagon spokesperson, his clearance level isn't high enough to know these things. But like I just said, those that are truly at the top, especially the elites, they know exactly what these so-called UFOs and so-called aliens are, and that they visited Earth. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 43. The king of Babylon, and in the scriptures, Babylon the Great, or the virgin daughter of Babylon, is the biblical name for the United States of America. And the true king of Babylon are these elites, that hidden hand, like the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. The king of Babylon hath heard the report of them. Heard the report of who? The prophets out on the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this online. and chiefly GMS or Great Millstone, breaking down these scriptures in 144% truth and clarity. The elites and, these other officials underneath them, they watch our videos and, they're seeing everything lining up with biblical prophecy. One thing I will never forget is during Donald Trump's presidency. I believe it might have been during the January 6th event or those George Floyd protests, but he posted on Twitter, now known as X, that I bet the Black Hebrew Israelites are happy to see us tearing ourselves apart. And when I went to go look at it again, like probably less than 10 seconds later, it was scrubbed from the internet and I haven't seen it since. So again, the king of Babylon, these elites and their other lackeys underneath them, they're watching us and have heard the report of the prophets, and his hands waxed feeble, seeing, everything the prophets have been saying come to pass. The children of Israel waking up, the prophets out on the highways and byways, and what? The appearance of the chariots. Anguish took hold of him as pangs as of a woman in travail. Hence why you've got the U.S. government and these different governments out there coming up with these UFO task forces, and they're releasing their documents that they've had on UFOs for the last several decades. And of course, the Space Force that they're building up. And it's not just for Russian and Chinese satellites. They're getting prepared to try to fight against Yahushai and the angels. Read Revelation chapter 12, verses 7 to about verse 9. That's that war in heaven. The spokesperson's message was the same that was given months ago on the topic after the coordination of efforts to get to the bottom of whether UFOs, unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs, and aliens had been to Earth. On July 20th, 2022, the Department of Defense, DoD, announced the establishment of an all-domain anomaly resolution office. AARO's mission is to synchronize efforts across the DoD and other U.S. federal departments and agencies to detect, identify, and attribute objects of interest in or around military facilities or airspace, which could pose a threat to safety of operations or national security. This includes anomalous, unidentified space, airborne, submerged, and trans, not that type of trans, medium objects. Then in November, the DoD set up a website to report government activity related to unidentified anomalous phenomena, also known as UFOs. But after setting up the AARO and conducting multiple investigations, the DoD claims there is no evidence by any UAPs came from out of this world. They're just contradicting themselves. First, you say there's no evidence of UFOs ever visiting Earth, but then you're setting up all these task force to what? Observe anomalous objects around military sites. And you can go look it up. U.S. military personnel and Russian military personnel back during the Cold War that were working at nuclear weapons sites said that they spotted UFOs that turned on the launch sequences and then turned them off before disappearing. So the evidence is out there, but this is just Esau trying to do damage control, trying to control the narrative. But it's going to get to the point to where these chariots are going to become so pronounced that people are going to have to look at it as something beyond man's, understanding, beyond man's intervention, divine intervention. And like I said earlier, Yahushai and the host of heaven are coming to do two things: to save the elect of the nation of Israel and to make war against you heathens, chiefly you Edomites. But now I'm going to go to Zechariah chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 1, and the header reads, "The flying scroll. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, a flying roll," speaking of a chariot. And, the chariots are described as many different things throughout the scriptures. A flying roll, clouds, etc., etc. And the chariots can come in many different shapes and sizes and colors, a ring within a ring, as it says in Ezekiel chapter 1, because the chariots aren't bound by the understanding of physics that man has. They're heavenly vehicles. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits, giving the dimensions and the shape and the length of the chariot. Verse 3, Then he said unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, and it's a curse to the wicked of our people and you heathens, chiefly you Edomites, because they're coming to make war against you and destroy you. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it. And who got their entire rulership as we know it now? How did the wicked, get the earth into their possession in Job 9, verse 24? By rape, robbery, murder, and theft. That's how you Edomites, the so-called white people, did it. Through your blessing, the sword in Genesis 27. When you look at the history of America, how was this land gotten from the so-called Native Americans? The tribe of Gad and Reuben, as well as, the other of the Northern Kingdom in Central and South America. You didn't make any peace treaties with them and keep them. It was by that sword. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. Verse 4, I will bring it forth, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, you Edomites, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. You Israelites out here, that you may call on the name of the Lord, but what? You do everything contrary to the scriptures. You break them down wrong. And what? A lot of you have taken that 501c3 and made a covenant with death, made a covenant with Esau to live good on this side. The chariots are coming for your ass as well. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. And when you go to Habakkuk chapter 2, read verses 10 to 12, it talks about how after you Edomites cut off many people to build up your kingdom, what? The timber and the stone shall cry out because of your wickedness. And it also says what? Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. Everything you've got was built off of the blood, sweat, and tears of the children of Israel. So what? Your kingdom is going to be destroyed, with the people in it. And then after America is completely wiped off the face of the earth, you Edomites in these different countries that survive, hey, you're going to be rounded up and have chains slapped on you so that you can begin serving the first 1,000 years of the kingdom of heaven with these other heathen nations. But as it said in verse 3, this is the curse that goeth over the face of the whole earth, to enter into the house of the thief and to cut off those that are stealing and killing and swearing falsely by the name of the Lord. Now I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, Yahweh, through his son, Yahushai, will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Again, that curse that goeth over the face of the earth. Those chariots are going to be firing concentrated heat, or so-called laser beams from them. Where do I want to go? This is Revelation chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 1, and the header reads, the revelation, or the revealing of Yahushai HaMashiach, the revelation of Yahushai HaMashiach, which the Most High gave unto him, speaking of John the Revelator, to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. Hey, those of the elect that are living in these times, which are about to shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds. And when you go to Psalms 104, I believe verse 3, it talks about how the Most High makes his chariots like the clouds. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. So those Roman centurions that pierced Yahushua in the past when he was on the cross, they're back here through the reincarnation to receive that judgment from him. And all kindreds or nations of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Aman. And why are they going to be wailing because of him? Because again, that's the curse that goeth forth over the whole earth. The Lord rendering his anger with fury and rebukes of fire through his chariots like a whirlwind. And you Edomites are going to be the main target of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, especially in America. This is Isaiah chapter 63. I'm going to start at verse 1. And the header reads, God's vengeance on the nations, the heathen nations. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? And Basra was an ancient chief city of the Edomites. So your modern day Basra would be the United States of America. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. And this is speaking of Yahushai. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. And what does Yahushai's name mean? He saves, or he is the deliverer. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat, symbolizing the great death and destruction Yahushua is coming to bring. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Like I've been saying throughout the video, Yahushua and the angels are coming to do two things: to enter into the house of the thief and, destroy them, make war against you heathens, and then what? Save the elect of the nation of Israel, his redeemed, whose redemption is quickly coming. As John said in Revelation 1 verse 1, to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. All right, but now I'm going to close it out in Luke chapter 21 verse 25, and the header reads, the return of Hamashiach. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. And we've been having a lot of lunar eclipses, solar eclipses, blood moons, astrological events, etc., etc. And upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity. And you've got all these various wars going on all across the planet. That whole situation over in the Middle East with Israel, Iran, Hezbollah and Hamas, the war in Ukraine, the situation between China and Taiwan, etc., etc. The sea and the waves roaring. Hey, we just had those major hurricanes, in North Carolina, in Florida, and just a bunch of other adverse weather events taking place. Men's hearts or minds failing them for fear and looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And that's speaking of these elites in control of the planet. And as we read in Jeremiah 50 verse 43, the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, the prophets. They're looking after the prophets and these things they're prophesying and seeing them come to pass. So what? Their minds or their hearts are starting to fail them, and they're, being shaken. Verse 27, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud, Yahushua returning with those chariots. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra, with power and great glory? And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. The year of my redeemed is come. So when we see these chariots, sightings, and see these prophecies come more and more to their fulfillment, we know that our salvation is nearer than when we believed. So, hey, to you sincere Akim and Akwat out there, just keep holding strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwat were edified. And I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.